Guys, RuneScape League has a problem. Me, you, and Jimmy, we're gonna figure it out right now.
Potentially. I feel a tremendous amount of guilt when it comes to RuneScape 3. Year after year, it just seems like it's trying to impress me. And I'm not heartless, so I give it a shot every time. I see what new thing it has to offer. But even if I give it my all, I just end up disappointed in the end. Just completely abandoning it.
This is about RuneScape 3? Of the 5 words in the title, how do you misunderstand all of them? It's easy, guys. I read things, but I don't really like retain them. That's why I never read books in my life. Because I could read the words, but I'm not like picking them up.
It musters up the courage to reach out to me and try again. I think I'm in an abusive relationship with this game. There's always going to be a little part of me that remembers that, you know, this is the original RuneScape. This is where it all started for a lot of us. Running around on these servers, walking on these tiles. I try not to forget that. And that's why I'm not going to ever completely give up on this game. I don't want to do that. So when they announced that they're going to be trying a league on RuneScape 3, I knew instantly that I was going to play it. No matter how many times I come over here and it disappoints me, I don't want it to die. And even though I returned to play the league, I wanted to take that chance to look at the game itself. The last time I truly dove into RuneScape 3 was in 2022 for Fresh Start Worlds, and I can definitely say that was probably the most fun I've had on these servers since the release of EOC. Fresh Start Worlds was a great time, and I enjoyed myself a lot, all the way up until they transferred us to the regular servers and mixed us in with all the
man candy. Think of that prime.
Those.
2 months,
3 years later, there's finally something going on over here that I really wanted to check out. So we will be doing that, all while getting boosted.
Guys, I decided not to play RuneScape 3 leagues. I also decided not to play Grandmaster. But look, I get to live vicariously through Jimmy trying it now, and I get to see what he has to say about it. So see, I didn't even have to try it because Jimmy tried it for me.
Boosted XP and relics that make life easier. And speaking of making life easier, you ever think to yourself, wow, I wish I didn't have to spend precious hours of my week preparing food for myself if only there were some sort of solution that someone would tell me about within the next 10 seconds? Well, I've got good news. Cook Unity is your knight in shining armor, sending great tasting meals prepared by award-winning chefs right to your door every week. And let me tell you, these guys do not mess around. They take a huge load of stress off me every week, especially since cooking is my lowest stat in real life, and it's not even close. Dustin Taylor.
Mine too. That's my stat. That's my lowest stat as well.
For sponsoring today's video.
That's why I got Factor.
I did plan on visiting this game again, I just didn't know when, because the only topic I've really covered when it comes to RuneScape 3 over the last 2 years is just the microtransactions. I'm glad I finally get to go in and play the actual game. Which, by the way, before I forget, I posted the first 4 days of me playing this league on my VOD channel, so if you want to see all of my first impressions on everything, feel free to go watch those. One of the biggest pros to those Fresh Start Worlds was that everyone was on an equal playing field on RuneScape 3 for the first time in 10 years. Nobody had access to MTX that would boost your XP or give you an advantage over the other players. And this time even more so, because everyone's an Iron Man. The biggest letdown, you know, is this equal playing field, once again, is only temporary. If you don't know what leagues are, it's a temporary game mode where everyone has boosted XP and different perks that you can choose to essentially give you a private server experience, just overpowered and dopamine inducing. For example, mining an ore, and that ore instantly turns into the bar that it's going to be smelted into and then inserted directly into your bank so you can stay there forever. There's a huge list of tasks to complete, and each task is allotted a certain amount of points, and you basically want to get as many points as you can in the 2 months that the league is live. Catalyst League is very bare bones. It is far simpler than any league that Old School's ever done. It actually didn't even feel like a league. It just felt like I was playing RuneScape 3. Sure, there were relics and XP boosts to move things along. Did I level up fast? Yeah. But that's not all a league is. Old School has had 5 leagues now, and they've learned crucial lessons from the first 3 of them. The biggest lessons are to restrict and commit. Twisted League introduced the restrict. Everyone was confined to the Great Corrend. It worked pretty well. The second league, Trailblazer, introduced commit, locking you to areas that you picked and committed to. And that worked out great. Thank you, Gridlock. The third league, Shattered Relics, tried out complete freedom by eliminating both restrict and commit all relics. Total freedom of the entire map, which I don't think worked out as well. And I think the game devs realized that because they stated that every league after Trailblazer Reloaded, the fourth one, was going to contain the restrictions and the commitments to relics, have that at the core. So it seems they've kind of confirmed with themselves what they believe works, which is confusing to me as to why the old school team didn't pass along this very crucial information to the RuneScape 3 devs who worked on this league. There were relic commitments, but the freedom of the map was there completely. The leagues can be very overwhelming. RuneScape Catalyst has 1,117 tasks separated by task tiers and regions. When you first start a league and you're only given 2 regions in the entire map, you're then narrowed down to certain options of how to complete certain tasks or how to level up your character a certain way using methods that you wouldn't have ever thought about. It's quite literally the definition of Trailblaze, and it worked better than any league concept ever. It worked so good it's there forever now in old school. It's what made the game mode amazing. Playing the game how you would never think to play it. When you're given total map freedom, you're spending way more time thinking about what to do next because you have all these options. If you are restricted to a certain region, then your options are limited. You kind of have these paths in front of you to take. It's not as overwhelming to simply move forward. During this league, I guarantee most players were just Googling RuneScape 3 Iron Man guides, which isn't fun. This league was no different than just playing an accelerated RuneScape 3 Iron Man. That's all this league was. I understand it's RuneScape 3's first time doing.
Did anybody play RuneScape 3 leagues? Did anybody try it in my chat? Most people say no. I know Foe did. Foe enjoyed it. Most people said no. I tried it and didn't like it. Tried for 3 days. I'm playing it right now. Oh, it's still going on. It was fun, but there were some flaws. It's boring compared to osrs.
Doing a league, but I figured since they had already done like a temporary server
it doesn't
XP
look
boost
like
thing with
RuneScape
Fresh
to me.
Star
I don't
Worlds,
know.
they'd
It's
be a
so
little
weird.
more ambitious than this. I mean, these
Y'all see, it just doesn't look like RuneScape. I don't know what it is about it. It's the same effect of like retail WoW and classic WoW. It just doesn't look like WoW anymore. And this doesn't look like RuneScape anymore for some reason. I don't know.
characters and their accomplishments are completely wiped from existence in 2 months. Why release a Barebones league that doesn't have nearly as much acceleration that it should with very underwhelming relics? Why would they not go a little crazy and have more fun with this? This is a league on RuneScape 3 nonetheless. You have nothing to lose. Make players the most overpowered characters in the history of MMORPGs. Crank the numbers up. What are we doing here? But also, just don't let them walk through that gate over there. If they want to go through that gate, make them work a little bit for it. Have them spend some of their points on it. You know, you started the league off with Excavator. There were 2 other choices, but if you picked one of those, it was a misclick. And I think that was a good way to set the tone. I was enjoying that relic immediately. I think everyone was. Then everyone started looking at the next tiers and seeing how many points they needed. It was unbalanced immediately. Jagex had patched in the very next day the adjusted points that you need to unlock the next tier. And the more that I looked at the task list and the tiers and everything, the more confused I became. For example, in Trailblazer Reloaded on old school, medium tasks were 40 points. In Catalyst, they're 30 points. Why? What happened there? And then I looked at the XP multipliers, which is probably a top 3 favorite feature of everybody playing leagues. It's probably the most crucial part of leagues, I would argue. When I looked at that, I was very taken aback. What happened here? In Trailblazer, you started tier 1 with a 5x multiplier. Tier 2, 3, and 4, 8x multiplier. Tier 5 and 6, 12x. Tier 7 and 8, 16x. In Catalyst, however, you start out with 4x, and then tier 2 and 3 at 6x, and then tier 4 and 5 at 8x, tier 6 at 12, tier 7 at 16. Trailblazer's tier 2 XP is not acquired until tier 4 on Catalyst League. Why would they not just simply align the tiers up here? I know that Trailblazer had an additional tier, but what difference does that really make? Just make the XP multipliers higher. Why are you slowing it down? This is supposed to be the faster video game. Why are you slowing things? Don't do that. There's more skills on this version.
Slowed it down, huh?
What are you guys doing? Sorry. Maybe there's an argument for it, like, you know, if it would become too fast because of the methods of training down the line. But if that's the case, only the experienced veteran players are even getting to that point. Everyone else got bored and left. Just multiply the XP more. Crank the multipliers up. But the biggest fumble of this league, by far, was the tier 5 relic, because that's when you picked your combat relic. This player base is constantly boasting about how good the PVM is, how amazing the combat becomes down the line, even arguing that old school's endgame is no match for this endgame. And I remember doing the higher level content in Fresh Start Worlds. It was fun. There's a lot of cool mechanics that I didn't even get to learn because there was so much of it. But you don't get anything combat related for a relic until tier 5. At least back in Fresh.
Is that true, guys? RuneScape 3, like at the higher tiers, is harder than old school RuneScape? There's more mechanics. It's way harder. The end game is harder. More stuff to dodge. There's more mechanics. So there's more mechanics in RS3 at the higher end. But nobody ever makes it to the higher end because they quit. So maybe that's why a league would be good, because you might be able to get to the higher end. Wait, that's actually a good concept for a league. It's like show people the end game quicker, to show them that maybe it's worth putting in the time in the normal game to try and get to that point. It's a good concept, this a league.
Fresh Start Worlds, I was able to head to ED3 and pump fucking 80 combat levels in 30 minutes. But you know, they patched that, so I had to play normally now. It's probably good that they did that. That's probably not a good thing to have in the game. But it's leagues. There should be something equivalent to that, even if I'm not abusing a dungeon. I want to be practically invincible if I'm playing League, okay? You need to give me better shit here. And don't get me wrong, the relics were still fun. You know, I enjoyed using Excavator. I mined a ton. It was fun AFKing, just seeing number go up. And I especially loved growing all my crops instantly, having the best compost on them, harvesting herbs, noted. I liked that part a lot. But even just finally getting to tier 4, seeing my options. I either get some boosted clue scroll stuff, or picking a previous tier relic, or Production Master, which supplies unlimited exquisite urns, gaining benefits of portable skilling stations excluding luminite injectors, spawns catalysts of alteration, divine blessings, manifested knowledge, serene spirits, skill distraction effects as the brooch of the gods. What does any of that mean? Those are words, I'm sure of that, but what do they mean? What are their purpose? So basically tier 4 had one relic in my eyes, because I didn't know what that meant, and I didn't really feel like picking a previous one, which I did end up regretting. I should have picked the thieving one probably, but I picked the clue scroll one, which was fine. I just sort of started spamming clue scrolls. It was just very boring. I wanted to experience this league like it was fucking solo leveling. A complete power fantasy, OP character combat with little to no regard for the story. Sorry, everyone who told me that I didn't do the quests, so they're disappointed. I didn't feel like going to make an unfired bowl for fucking Dragon Slayer on my character that's deleted in 2 months. My chat tricked me into going to do some duck quest, which I thought was going to be a lot like Ribbiting Tail in old school. It wasn't. By the way, I've been reincarnated as a duck. The newest anime. Is this supposed to be like a meditation quest and it wants you to relax for a second? Because I'm not doing that. That's not why I'm doing leagues. I'm not here. I'm here to stress out. I want to be stressed out. Turns out everyone that watches my stream actually hates my guts. That's news to me. I thought RuneScape 3 leagues was going to be a lot more combat based. I wanted to use all those fucked up skills I remember, like making tidal waves crash on enemies. No, instead I'm buying curry saplings from some tree guy in Prif, planting them over and over again, which is cool. You know, I like seeing big XP drops. I got so bored planting trees that me and my chat decided it would be way more fun if we just wandered around the game looking for hot NPCs. I don't remember her looking like this, man. Aggie on my cauldron till I die. Amen, brother. God damn, that's fucking bars right there. It's crazy.
Damn, that's like a Showback stream now.
She is the most updated NPC in this entire video game. That's nuts. She's very special. All right, dude, relax. She's not gonna fuck you, dude. Just normal human behavior. What I'm saying here is, you know, these relics that we were given for this league were about 20% of the fun that they should have been. Just give us the most overpowered things you can think of. Even if that cuts down the average playtime by a few weeks because of how fast everything is, people had fun on RuneScape 3. Isn't that the goal? Let your wildest dreams run free. You don't even pull anything anyway. The XP of RuneScape 3 leagues was slower than old school's leagues. How did that happen? What happened there? What is the logic behind that? So that was all the League talk out of the way. Now I kind of want to focus more on RuneScape 3 itself. And this wouldn't be a true RuneScape 3 video if I didn't mention the user interface. Now I've got good news and bad news. The good news is they've implemented a brand new feature, importing other players' UI. So if someone has UI that you like, you can type their name in and select whichever custom one you want. The bad news, monitor resolutions are all over the place in 2025. I don't know, 1080p, 2K, 4K, giant, disgustingly long ways monitors. Whoever's UI you're copying, I hope it's the same as theirs. I also hope that your game window is the exact same size. And I also hope the UI scaling is the same percentage as them, because if any of that is different, well, who wants to give me their UI? Current. What have you done? What have you done to me? Okay, this is even worse. This is way worse. You've never configured your UI before. You've never logged into this game. There it is. I got it. I got it back. This is my layout. I didn't even need to try. Not to say this feature isn't helpful. Even if your stuff is different, you can probably just manually adjust things on import. But all in all, I talked about my UI situation. I have a UI that I'm comfortable with. The UI is still a disaster, but I think me personally, I've gotten used to it for the most part. I still have to ask
it does look like a WoW UI, but how you can move it around like that.
Into the settings, so you could search for what you're looking for in this textbook of words. And I don't know if this is technically under the UI discussion, but this needs to be said. Jagex, listen to me. If there's one thing you need to listen to this whole thing, it's this. Hope this reaches somebody. Please. Anybody over there, please add a toggle for notification sounds. Oh my God, when I level up or complete a task or an achievement diary, shut up. Achievement complete. Okay, so we've got achievements as well.
Level up song?
I'm guessing achievements not related. Jesus Christ. Sorry. Fucking relax. Oh my God. I'm the greatest taskmaster of all time. Shuffle on. Okay, see, there's the level up. It just interrupts it immediately. It started going. And there's the fucking big guitar that we leveled up.
The ominous level.
I can't wait for this song to get completely interrupted. Uh-huh. Yeah.
What is going on?
I'm gonna lose my mind. Agility is not that great when there's not a giant click box for you. When there's not a giant green box to take advantage of. Really missing that. Jesus Christ. For the first 2 days, I don't think I heard a single song play all the way through without being interrupted by some guy playing the guitar, smashing that shit on a full blast amplifier to celebrate my 14 cooking. Because all of the little jingles and loud guitar riffs, they're not under sound effects. They're mixed in with the music. So if you play with no music, you don't hear those sounds, but then you simply have no music. I like seeing the pop-ups, but shut up. Just give me a box to check. Which, by the way, this issue affected my brain so much that I actually went ahead and created a 4-hour music mix on my VOD channel. So if you'd like to listen to that, I put a lot of the chill ones in there and just have a video of that now. Yeah, that's how much power that guitar had over my life.
He muted. Guys, I just did this today. I literally just did this today, bro. Like, I just started playing music on Spotify because the game just stops playing music randomly and then it doesn't come back. And I'm like, well, at least if I just play the music on Spotify, I don't have to deal with it. So I feel that.
You know, I didn't know if I was gonna film this next part. I really do try to be positive when it comes to discussing RuneScape. It is much harder to be positive when I'm talking about RuneScape 3. I will admit that. I'm sorry. But I let all this stuff bottle up. I don't like bringing negativity to my videos, but I think just this once, I think I need to let it all out. I'll deal with the squabble afterwards. I'm doing this for me. I accept the consequences of this. I despise the 6th age. The gods coming down to Gielinor was a huge mistake, and it ruined the lore of this game. It made me so incredibly uninterested. I hate it. I hate the fact that Zamorak and Sardaco and whoever else the fuck is in the game that I can go walk up and talk to. It's stupid. If I release RuneScape 3 is never going to happen because I have no interest in experiencing that. Nearly every armor set in this game looks ridiculous. The best set of armor in this game that takes hundreds of hours to get materials for apparently looks like an upgraded set from steel armor. Why does every helmet in this game make your character look bald? There's nothing wrong with bald. But if I'm playing as a beautiful woman, I would like to keep the hair. The flared trousers dance has been completely ruined. The player models in this game are disgusting. I heard that there's a project to change all of the models in the game that's off the shelf apparently. I don't know if I believe it. Make that a priority. When I'm banking something that has a placeholder, don't switch to the tab that I put it in. I believe that it's there. If I bank the next thing that doesn't have a placeholder, then it goes into the one that the other one went into, and then I've got to go drag that one out. Don't switch my bank tabs. Fix the click boxes in this game. My pointer is on their skin. Why am I clicking through them? For some reason in 2025, you can't pay a gardener to take your fruit tree out, but you can pay the normal tree guys. If you have an oak tree somewhere, they'll happily take it out, but oh, God forbid, there's fruit growing on it. Farming's been out for almost 20 years now. There's no way that's been overlooked. That's insane. With necromancy out, all it is magic 2.0.
He's popping off
with
right
one
now.
gear
He's
set that you
ramping.
upgrade with a little goo baby backstory of being a nice necromancer. I don't want to do that's stupid. I know auras aren't in leagues. I didn't experience them recently, but I just remembered them and I hate them, so I'm gonna say it. I want to see these auras free ridden. That's a reference. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you need to watch this show. It'll change your fucking life. Will the events on the hour? Dumbest thing in the world. Trying to click a thing that I can't even see because there's so many people. Don't make me set an alarm to do an activity. If I have a farmer cornered that I'm pickpocketing, don't fucking teleport him just because you think it's gonna stop the 4 bots that your game has. You've made pickpocketing automatic. Just let me be there. I promise you that clicking 6 squares away has never been an issue for a botter. Don't punish me for that. And since you guys blocked all your MTX cosmetics, I couldn't get a haircut at the Falador barber. I even walked up there physically. I couldn't change my hairstyle that I regretted. Guess I'll just wear a helmet and make myself bald. Why is it that ham women are easier to pickpocket than ham men still? I actually don't even have a problem with it. I just think it's funny given the progressive history of this video game. And last but not least, maybe even first, RuneScape 3 needs quest helper. That's coming from me. And don't even suggest the whole Alt-1 thing. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about an in-game quest helper. I'm talking arrow flashing, NPC highlighted, dialogue options glowing. If you put that into RuneScape 3, you're gonna see a 5 to 10% increase in players that regularly log in. I've already done the calculations and that's correct. I got it out. That's it. That's all I have to say about that stuff. I got it out. Thank you. Thank you for letting me do that. I won't do that again.
Damn, Jimmy
in a video
popped off
for a
right
while.
there,
I'm just
huh?
gonna charge up for the next explosion. And you know what? I'll balance it out. You know, I'm fair. Let's talk about some stuff that I like. I like setting up my window at the bank so that I can just click the same spot with the preset buttons and stuff, and then I could just like clean all my herbs without moving my mouse. It's nice to do that. Pickpocketing being auto until it fails. I like that part. I like that putting the graphics on minimum kind of gives a little old school vibe. It's probably just a bias thing that I like, but I like that part.
And that's all that he liked from RuneScape 3.
I don't hate RuneScape 3, okay? I know what you just watched. I understand. I feel like RuneScape 3 handed me their fucking paper that they wrote, and this was all just me marking my feedback. Don't take this personally. Unless you want to, I don't care. You can get mad if you want, but that's on you. I got nothing against you. So just keep that in mind. There's this question of, you know, why is Jagex doing a league on RuneScape 3? What's the point?
This is a strange sponsored video. He's literally just bashing the video the whole time. You should try RuneScape 3.
I think this coincides with the question of how do we revive RuneScape 3? What can we do to build a player base up? Because it's diminished a lot. I've been given the same answer for a while, and it's very controversial. Doesn't make RuneScape 3 players happy, but I truly believe the only way that this game will ever see a true revival is another round of fresh start worlds that never transfer over to the main servers. Those fresh start worlds have no MTX, no cosmetic overrides. I could make an entire video on all the pros and cons of doing something like that. It's a Hail Mary, hoping for the best, electric shock to the heart of RuneScape 3 to see if anything's possible. If we could do anything here. That's why I'm going to continue embracing things like leagues whenever they try stuff like
Dude, what if one day I just logged in and I just quit old school RuneScape and became a RuneScape 3 player? Oh shit. You just threw a fucking curveball in there, boys.
that is, I don't want to give up on this, and if there is a solution to revive this game and help its players and gain new players, I'm going to be behind that. Anything this game tries, I'm going to give it a shot, because, you know, I owe it to this game for getting me here. I don't forget my roots. You know, I didn't start with buy release. I didn't start with according to Jim. You know, I started at these sharks. These 1,900-pound sharks. I'm not going to forget that. I won't. If RuneScape 3 puts out another league, I'll try it. As long as it's region locked. And they fix the XP. And make the relics better. A lot better. I'll try it. I'll see you later.
That's a good video, man. You don't have to play RS3 to enjoy that video. Jimmy does a good job with the videos, man. That was a W. Here's the thing. Why would anybody even try RuneScape 3 with all of like the reviews? Like I'm not even intrigued by, I'm not even like, oh, what's going on over there? Like the reviews are so negative. Like I'm a reviews guy. I would never play RuneScape 3 because the reviews are just bad. The reviews save you hours. They save you time from playing a bad game, you know?